Hey Warriors, thanks so much for being a part of this video. Today we're talking about rebuilding your relationships, something that anxiety sufferers need to understand how to do, how to approach, how to have the right mindset, what strategy is the best to start doing this because it's so unfamiliar. Because for so long, at least for me, for 6 years, I was a hermit. I was someone that lived under a cave. I never talked to friends. I never talked to my family members. But when I did, man, I was kind of like 50% there and 50% here. I was in my inner world. I was worried about my symptoms. Would I have a panic attack? How depressed was I? Were they seeing if I was depressed? How much sweat was coming off of my armpits? All these things that were going through my mind. So it was very difficult for me to take that leap and to go, I'm really going to work on building my relationships. So today, I'm gonna give you some relatable stuff, and as well, I'm gonna give you guys a strategy so that you can start to implement it and start building your relationships after anxiety. And this was a question on Twitter that somebody asked me, and that's why I'm tackling it. So guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the comments section under this video, and I will make sure to get to them maybe in a video. We don't know. But anyway, thanks for being here. Now, we must understand, at least in my world, the only person that truly cared about my anxiety, was my mom. My mom was the one where she was like, Dennis, okay, you have anxiety, everything's gonna be okay. She was the only willing person to be around me 24/7 and to kind of just keep fueling that victim side of me, which wasn't helping, but it led me to the belief that, people don't care about your anxiety. They don't care. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to mingle with you. So that can take its toll on somebody who's kind of working on themselves, working on self-mastery through their mind, their body, and their spirit. So, this can take its toll, and it can be very difficult to start approaching people, to start interacting with your family members, your old friends again, and to let them know, hey, I'm doing better now, and for them to accept that. So it's a very, very hazy, dark world that we need to confront as warriors, not victims. So we must understand, though, that this is a conscious decision. Okay? This is a conscious decision to want to build your relationships up again. Just like you're working on rebuilding your thought patterns, rebuilding your belief systems, rebuilding your body, your physiology, how you move, how your posture looks, how your breathing patterns are, rebuilding your identity, who you think you are as a person, understanding that your identity, who you think you are, and your behaviors are two separate things. Maybe you're doing things, but they're not who you are. So it's really important that those conscious decisions need to be evaluated, and you must go, well, I need to celebrate this because I've taken so many great steps forward past my anxiety, and now I'm at the point where I'm faced with this challenge again. So you have all the tools within you to do this first and foremost. You have the tools to build up your relationships from the past. You have the resources to, mingle with those new people. If you want to ask someone on a date, if you want to get married, if you want to travel with someone around the world, if you want to, meet people from different cultures, you have it within you because you've proven to yourself over and over again that you can, in fact, practice a new way of thinking, practice a new way of behaving, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. So that is first and foremost, okay? But we must understand that if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. And that means that if we're gonna do this, right, we must have a plan. We must have a set way of approaching this, okay? And we must also understand that there are a few things that will halt your progress in building your relationships, okay? Mainly 3, okay? And they are hunger, okay? If you're hungry, if you haven't eaten in the morning, your willpower gets diminished. Okay, your analytical, your rational mind starts to lose its effect. Okay, and you kind of go blurry, you kind of go hazy, your words don't come out the way you want them to. That affects your physiology, and next thing you know, you're not believing in yourself. So make sure that you're eating 5 to 6 times a day, okay, giving back to your body, giving back to your system, and therefore your system will help you bring out the words you want, the physiology that you want, everything that you need, okay? The other thing is your anger levels. Are you angry at the world still? Are you angry at those past experiences? Are you angry at your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, your dog? Okay, so if you're living with anger, okay, and haven't taken care of the anchors that are holding you back, those are your core beliefs. Those need to be handled first so that you can give off the vibration to other people that you are in fact someone that is worth talking to, someone that is worth hanging around, right? Someone that other people want to get to know. Okay, so if you're living with anger and you're not living with gratitude, there's something holding you back. There's a core belief there that manifests as a feeling. So when you start to feel those things, you must not avoid them. You must confront those things. What is it? For me, for example, I always go back to the story with my dad. My dad was very emotionally abusive, physically abusive, and it got to the point where, you know, in my adulthood, because I didn't take care of that, because I didn't find ways to reframe those past experiences, to see them in a different light, I paid the price. And when people were talking to me and they were the same build as my dad, I got fearful, right? If they had the same tone or was from the same country, I immediately cringed. And we're unconscious beings. This is what we do. But when I get that feeling, right, I needed to understand that there was something I needed to tackle. You know, it was like my car dashboard. When I go in the car and I see the oil light flashing, there's something that needs my attention. So if we're gonna build these relationships, guys, we must start tackling and reframing and seeing the positive intent behind the people in our past and how they were trying to help us, but in fact harmed us in some way. So that is another thing. You can't go about this being angry at the world and angry at people, angry at your family. You cannot do it. You must cut those anchors first so that you can move forward. Then the last one is tiredness. If you're tired and you want to build your relationships with people, people will go, well, he's kind of a downer, right? And that can be really difficult for people to accept, because people deep down want people around their current circle of friends or someone that's going to better them in some way. So if you're not going to better that person in some way and be on the same page as them, maybe as far as their goals and their dreams and their outlook on the world, then it's going to be very difficult. So tiredness comes back to your sleep patterns, comes back to your stimulation. You know, how much TV are you watching? How much music are you listening to? Are you currently hanging around people that you need to audit? You need to kind of get rid of those people so that you can bring new, fresh relationships into your life, because we start to become the people we hang out with. We adopt their belief systems, we adopt their behaviors, we start to see the world that way. So it's really important that we understand that tiredness can affect that rebuilding relationship process after anxiety. And the other thing we must understand is that with this whole idea, we're first taking baby steps. Okay, we're not going to get from where we are to having 10 friends that really, call us all the time and are asking us how we're doing and really pushing us to become better. It's not going to be like that. For a while here, for the first couple weeks, for the first couple months, it's going to be like, you're like a newborn child again. You're coming in and you're seeing mama and you're seeing daddy, and all of a sudden, you're everything's foreign, like what's going on here? And you're kind of like, wow, this is an unknown world I'm not familiar with. And the dating game is changing all the time. If you're single and you want to do that, or you want to get married one day, I mean, it's a whole new world, right? And your family moves on and your old friends move on. So in this time that you suffered with anxiety, people have changed. People have altered themselves, and so we must understand that we must accept that. We must at some point, not dwell over the past. Oh, I wish they were this kind of person and that kind of person. I missed that about them and this about them. We must accept people as far as how they are right now, because people are always trying to grow themselves, right? And with those people, we can start to become quite jealous, right? With anxiety coming back into the unknown world, we can get really jealous. Wow, they bought that new house. Wow, they're married now. They have kids, whatever it is. They're traveling the world. And we can see ourselves as someone that's much lower than our old friends and our new relationships and such. But, seeing it in that way is not the right perception. It's not the way to go about it. We must say, people are growing and so are we, so we must accept how they are, okay? And this is going to move us forward. Now, a systematic approach is very, very important. We must understand, are we trying to rebuild our past relationships, or are we trying to gain new relationships, okay? So first and foremost, we must understand, what do we want to do? We must have a list. Okay, there's a list of past friends that I want to reconnect with again. Make that list first and foremost. Write it down. And then, start to go on Facebook, see what they're like, see their lifestyles now, really get attached. And, at some point you're going to go, hey, it's been so long since we connected. How you doing? I see you've got some kids now and you've traveled and such. Hey, nice car. It all starts with complimenting them. It starts with asking them questions on how their life is, right? It's not about you. It's about them, okay? It's not about you. And understand that people are not going to jump on the bandwagon right away. Like, hey, Dennis, where you been? I missed you so much, man. It's so great to finally, hear from you, this and that. You might not get that response. And you must accept that that is okay, okay? So we must first get really in detail, specific about what we want. What kind of relationship do we want, okay? What types of people do we want to hang around, right? Is there a new hobby? For instance, with me, I took up photography. So photography was something I was really interested in. And so I, at the end of my anxiety days, said, you know what? Wow, I've never been around artsy people before. This would be such a cool opportunity to start mingling around this kind of new culture, this kind of new approach to life and the way people see the world and such. So I started to go to meetups that people were in fact photographers and videographers and such. And it was really cool because for a long time there was something there I was really interested in, but never really had the guts to pursue. So now was an opportunity for me to see those kind of people, hang around those kind of people, because I wanted to continue to keep moving forward in my life. So in order for that to happen, I needed to take a good look at my own hobbies, my own interests. Where were those people hanging out? So same like you, what are you interested in? How do you want to become more educated, right? Is there people that like to travel a lot? Have you always been into traveling but never had the opportunity to meet those kind of people or do those things? Put yourself in a situation where you will in fact be around those types of people. And through baby steps on a daily basis, you're going to start opening up to these people slowly, okay? It's not a one-time getting out there being the social butterfly type thing. It's not like that, okay? The other thing is that we must start practicing building rapport with people because it's been so long, right? So this idea goes back to this this system I have through the End the Anxiety program, that when we had social anxiety, for instance, me for so long, I took a chapter of a book, I took a technique, and I started to test it. I went out to the outside world and I said, I'm going to test this today. Not the way you want to approach it, okay? So by testing something and not getting the result I wanted, I saw myself as a failure. I saw myself as, continuing to doubt myself, doubting the world, fearing the world and such. So we must understand that this is a process. You building rapport with people is a process. You must have these goals. One of my goals was to keep a relationship, or sorry, a conversation going for 2 to 5 minutes every single day with strangers. So I would be in the bookstore and someone was reading a book and I'd be like, well, then that's interesting, kind of faking it here and there because I wanted to practice. I didn't want to test this new skill set. I didn't want to test this new me. I just wanted to look at it as an opportunity to practice, right? So I had an opportunity there. So I said, oh, that's a nice book that you're reading there. Are you interested in marketing? Because I'm totally into that as well. Starting my online business, this and that. And the guy will go, yeah, I'm really interested in this book. There's some great pieces in there. And I go, well, yeah, because I've read a book very similar to that. And in the past, I felt like these are the types of books that really help me. There we start some dialogue. We start to build some rapport with people. And again, we might not get the response that we want. Is that okay? Yes. Do your best to create a goal, okay, of talking to say 3 people on a daily basis and keep the conversation going for a set amount of time. Go out there and practice. Put yourself out there because people are not vultures. They're not going to bite, okay? They're not going to harm you. They're just people, just like you and me. And I've been talking to a lot of celebrities, helping some celebrities out as the anxiety guy. And I've come to realize that these celebrities are people. They're just like me and you. They struggle the way we struggle. They go through stress the way we do. So we must not hold people at the highest pedestal. We must not do that because that's when we fall into traps, okay? Now the next thing is that we must speak from a place of our true voice, not our critical voice, but our true voice. So when we are challenging ourselves, building these relationships, we must understand that it has to come from a place of love, a place of connecting, okay? Not from a place of anxiety and fear and doubt. So I cannot talk to someone and go, oh man, I hope this works. Hey, how you doing? Good. Yeah, I've had anxiety for about 6 years and now I'm just starting to put... People don't want to hear it, okay? Nobody cares about your anxiety except your mother. Okay? Now, they don't want to hear it and you're not going to build relationships that way. You must speak from a place of power. You must speak from a place of your true voice. And that means that you speak with confidence, okay? With confidence. Remember a time, and what I like to do is I like to bring the magic circle technique to this approach. Now, the magic circle is something portable, okay? I've got the magic circle in my mind and I can throw the magic circle onto any area in the world that I want. When I throw that magic circle to say there, right next to where that beautiful blonde might be, not me, but just an example. And then we go, well, when I step into that magic circle, I transform myself from the victim to the warrior. This is very important. And imagination goes such a long way towards becoming the people that we want to become. So that magic circle has got a light behind it. I must get familiar with the magic circle. Yes, it's got a white light that's flashing around it. Yes, it's this big, right? And I'll put my magic circle out there, and when I step into that magic circle in my imagination, I automatically become the person I want to be. Now that might be someone like an influencer out there, like a Tony Robbins or a Gary Vaynerchuk or whoever you want to become, Gabby Bernstein, whatever it is as far as the women out there go. Lots of influencers, lots of role models out there. And when you step into your magic circle, you start to become the warrior. You start to become the person you truly want to be. So this is important. The last step is celebrate, okay? You're not perfect, neither am I. We must celebrate the smallest wins. At the end of the day, we must go, hey, I really put myself out there today and I am proud of that. And I did the best I could. And with the resources that I'm gaining, I am continuing to build confidence and get out of this self-doubt, this self-pity journey that I was on for so long, guys. So those are the steps to building your relationships up again. Again, comment below, guys. Let me know what you're doing to build your relationships as well. If you have any questions, again, comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with other people. I'll see you guys in the next video. And always remember that you are more than anxiety. Love you guys.